video of me talking about good dates, you know. Who's gonna watch that? Who's gonna even watch this one? Who's gonna even understand this one? So I have two very different, but also kind of similar. I guess they're kind of the same, but two different situations that might have a lot to explain. So let's hurry up and get into it. And both of these situations have been fortunate enough to have been from Grindr. Yes, I know I should not be on there anymore. I keep going back. And why? Because I am single, you know. This is dating, especially when you're in LGBT. Like, I don't want to live on Tinder. I don't want to live on Bumble. But I'm on there. I keep going back. I keep deleting it. Keep going back, you know. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired of this, so tired of this. And I delete it. And it's like, you're not going to go anywhere. Because, like, who meets people in real life? I don't even make friends in real life. When I worked at places, I had trouble doing that. So I'm going to find a person, you know. But then I'm trying to find my person, not just any person. And that's the thing I've realized. Like, so many people are just looking to date. And not to be like, oh, I'm so unique, I'm so rare. But a lot of people do just look for, like, oh, I want someone to do this with, someone to do this and that with. And it's like, well, it is easy to find someone, you know. Like, for me, well, it might be hard to find someone good looking or someone that you're attracted to. It's probably what they're talking about. But like for me, I do match with some people that I'm not that attracted to, you know. If I wanted to be in a relationship, I could, but I do not want to be in one just to be in one. I know a lot of people do that. I don't know. I'll get into that in another video. I need to get my thoughts together on that anyway, as if my thoughts are ever together. So, our first story begins with Grindr. And this is why I hate dating, because like, this is a part of that where you're like, how do you tell someone that you're not that interested, other than don't reply? When you do reply, be dry. It is so hard to do that, and you realize it once you're there. Like, a lot of people don't realize it because we're unfortunate enough to look like this and not have to ever let anyone down, you know. But you will get there, and you will realize that it is so hard to be honest. You know, I understand now. It's just, you need to be careful with what you say, because you don't want to be mean. Well, some people don't want to be mean. You don't want to make them feel like they did something wrong, because it really is not their fault, and it's not your fault. But like I said, I'll talk about that in another video. So, I start talking with this guy. He messaged me first. That's how it is on Grindr. Like, that's why I like Grindr more. That's the only reason. Because they come to you, you know. How am I gonna find anyone? Like on Tinder and everywhere else, I have to look, actively look, and then they block me from swiping right, you know. Only gives you a certain amount of people you can go through in a day, which just tells me like, you have too much time on my hands right now, you know. Even when I was working, like, I would always like want to go through every person, so I made sure, you know, I don't know. And that's another video too. Tinder not really helping you as much as they could. So he messaged me. I'm like, hello, need a face picture. I'm not gonna just talk to anyone. He sends a picture, and I'm like, he's okay, decent looking. Like, I'm pretty sure that's how many people look at me. I've had the same though. I've messaged people. We'll have a good little conversation, and they ask for more pictures. I send some, and then it ends right there. Like, call that karma, call that whatever it is, but it is there. But I would say it's better than being directly rejected, you know, and in a mean way. So we're talking, and I don't even know how, but he asked where I worked. I don't know how it came up, but he asked where I work. I was like, Target. And I didn't say which one. I think I was at work at that point. We were talking, and he ended up at my work. I know it is based on location, you know. Gives you the people that is in your area. But how creepy is it to just show up? Because he did ask. He was like, oh, I should come meet you. And I was like, that's kind of weird, first of all. I didn't say that. I just said like, no, I don't know about that. You know, because I'm working and I don't want, you know. And so I say no. I don't think that's a good idea. But he still comes. I didn't even tell him which one, like how, and did he know which one to go to? Did he go to other ones first and then that one? So I saw him on my way out. I was going to clock out, and then I see him. He he looks familiar, and he's like walking towards me, but then he goes somewhere else. So I look out, and I come out, and I see him again, and I'm like, I think that's him, because first of all, he's still there, just standing in the same exact spot. So I'm like, okay, let me just go, because that's kind of weird, you know. So I go, I keep walking, he comes out to me, and he asks something about, like, where's this and that, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually off, and you know, I need to go. I don't know what he said, but he's like, asking these questions, trying to be like, oh, well, can you help me with this and this? I'm just like, helping him, and I realized, like, he's not even gonna mention that he's the guy that I was talking to. So I asked him, I'm like, are you? I don't even know how I said it, but he was like, yeah, that's me, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then I was just like, oh, I need to go, because, you know, I'm off work now, and I'm trying to go home. That's why I hated that job, because my other job, I would stay after work, talk to everyone, and I was doing so much better with talking to people, and working there made it the absolute opposite, the worst. Once I was off, I needed to go home, but in this case, it was for another reason, you know. So I'm like trying to, you know, make it apparent that I'm trying to go, and he's like, okay, and then I just go. And I try to be nice, like, I never am directly horrible to people, even the worst people. I've had the worst customers to me that have called me a horrible name before, and I've said it before in videos. In every one of those situations, I've never yelled back, I've never insulted them back, mostly because I wanted my job, you know. And also because I know people are dumb, and they will. Once they run out of words, they will start using their hands, and I'm not trying to do that shit. So it's just always smarter to not let them drag you down. But especially in these kind of things, I'm always like, I know how it feels for someone you like so much to not like you back, you know. So of course I don't want to be mean, even if he was like weird and all that. But then, I forgot what happened. I think I actually like blocked him after that, because I was just so weirded out from that. Like, why would you show up when I told you I didn't want to meet, and he comes and meets me when I didn't even tell him where. So then, like, a couple of days, I don't know if it was the next day, a couple of days later, he comes again at the same one at my work, and I think he went to my lane one time, and I saw him throughout the store just looking at me, either looking for me and then looking shocked when he sees me walking by. Like, do you not understand how creepy that is? Like, and every time he would talk to me, it was not even about, oh, how are you? It's always, oh, do you know where this is? Do you know where that is? Oh, can you help me with the price of this? I felt horrible because I just felt like there was something, like, obviously he had some kind of problem. Of course, I don't know. He obviously had issues talking to people. Of course, that made me relate more, because I have had a difficult time doing the same thing. But of course, I got to that point where I was like, this is not the way to talk to people, you know. A lot of people need to learn that in retail, you know, all the managers. I was always like, I don't know how to talk to people, but I know this is not how to do that. So then I transferred. First couple of months, I didn't even, you know, think about him, because there were so many things. I didn't really worry that much because it wasn't constant. It was always like every couple months, every couple weeks, I don't know. By the time that I transferred, I hadn't even really remembered him that much or thought of him that much. And then when I transferred, same thing, couple months passed, and of course you could guess that he shows up at this one too while I'm working, and does the same exact thing. Comes up to me and asks, where's this, can you help me with this and that? You can tell he was nervous. He was like, he didn't know how to ask. He was like, oh, can you help me? You know, he was always like that, and he would always come up to me. There's like all these people in the front. I was doing like orders, and there's someone in the toy department, but he comes and asks me. Of course, I don't know if he knew that there's someone in there. There was this one time, but I'll give you an example later. So when I see him, I'm like, oh no. He asked me, like, if I could check for a toy, if there's a toy in stock. And I look, and I can't find it. He's like, oh, can you look up for another one? I'm like, I look it up. It's not coming up, bitch. But then at some point, I was like, I have to go, you know. I'm on the clock, and I had to get this order in at a certain time. this happened about like 2 or 3 times in the span of a couple of weeks. So by the third time, I was like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, we would talk. He would ask me, not even, like, I won't even say we would talk. He came out to ask me that question. And then I would try to help him. And then I would go back to my order. And then I'll see him throughout the store again. Like, I see him walking around, but like, as if he's looking for me. Like, the way you can tell how he's walking around the store. But I would see him throughout the store. And he would see that I saw him. He would turn and keep walking, you know, another way or something. It was that kind of creepy, you know. I would even get to the place where I bag the items, and he would be standing right there just watching, not even hiding it. But then, like, when I look over there, like, I needed to do something. I was like, does he not understand how creepy this is? So I would just, like, look at him, make sure he knows that I'm looking and judging, you know. How else is he gonna understand that this is weird? And then he would look around and act like he's doing something else, you know. So then at one point, he comes up to me again. He's like, can you help me look up for this one item? And I'm like speeding through it. The minute I saw him, like, it had been the third or fourth time that I saw him in a couple weeks. And I was like zooming through. I'm like, not today. I'm gonna be a little mean today. Even when I'm mean, I'm not that mean. Or at least I try not to be. He's like, can you help me? I'm like, sorry, I'm running late. And like speeding through, because I'm not trying to do that anymore, you know? And ever since then, I would still see him, but he wouldn't come up to me anymore. Like, still creepy. Still don't do that, but, I mean, better, I guess. And when I did that, I walked past, as some more team members are walking by, and I see all these team members around me, like, you can ask them. As I turn the corner, I see him just, like, walking away, like, all these other people there. You're not gonna ask anyone else to help you. I knew there was something with this guy that was not right. The whole entire situation is so annoying. I don't like that I have to make this video. There's people that want to have these situations, you know, to have a story time, have a fun story to talk about, and all these things. Like, bitch, I do not want this story. I hate that feeling. To even have to reject someone indirectly is never a good feeling. I don't want to. It's not like, oh, I'm purposefully not being with you to hurt you. Like, I just don't feel the same way. That's not my fault, and it's not your fault. I hope that you find someone. I hope that I find someone. But it's not like I'm wishing horrible things for you. Oh, you're not the one next. Like, no, I wish the best for you. I hope you can find someone, but I'm sure that's not me. I understand how sad it is from coming from the other side. You hope that this person could be the one. You see yourself fitting so perfectly together. And there have been people that I really like, but not in that way. And they can't see it in any other way. So it's like, which I don't understand. Because, like, why would that happen? Especially this story. Why do the people that I don't really like me back? Why, instead of finding a boyfriend, I find this person that follows me around that I don't like, you know? It would be different if I did like him. No. Even if, let's say, I did like him, I don't think, that is so weird to think about that. If, let's say, I did like him, it would have been a lot less creepy. But let's say that he still had the same quality. He was not good at talking. I mean, as long as he was like nice, I don't know. Wow, that story completely changed if I think about it like that. That's how everything is. Like, unless you know that person, unless you like that person, unless they're attractive to you, it's not creepy. In this case, it was. But if you had been attractive to me, just because someone's not attracted to you doesn't mean you're not attractive. The entire story would have been different. I probably would have helped him, and I wouldn't have realized how creepy he was until later on, you know. Personally, I never wanted to meet right away. I always tried to talk for a while and then meet in person. But I do feel like if I was so attracted to him, it would have been completely different. And I hate that that's true. I would have ended up in the same place now. Like, we wouldn't have been together because something would have happened where I would realize that, you know, he's kind of creepy somewhere down the line. So you just have to be appreciative when things don't happen. I always think that way, but then when bad things do happen, I'm like, well, how come something didn't happen to prevent that? It still happened, you know? I thought things don't happen to prevent bad things from happening, but they still happen. But that was pretty much it after that. did still see him, but he didn't come up to me anymore. He would still look at me from afar and kind of follow me around. And at one point I did try to like make it known, like, oh, I'm gonna talk to someone. I never told him anything like that, but I had the thought to, like, if I saw him, get my walkie out and act like I'm calling someone, like security. Because it got to that point where I would see him throughout the store. Like, it was too much. It's so annoying that I had to deal with it. Like, if I had been in a lot of relationships, okay, you know, I have someone that followed me around. But I've never been in a relationship, never had anything close to it, never had someone that I really like me back, except for one time last year. And of course, the one thing that I do get is that, and again, I don't want to be mean to this person, you know, even though he might deserve it. Who am I to say what he deserves? I'm not gonna do it myself, mostly because I felt bad for him too. Like, you know, I wanted him to find someone that actually likes him, actually could help him, you know. But that's the thing too, like, if you start being friendly, they're just gonna look past that and try to be with you. Not that you can't be friendly, but, you know, in the end, you really just have to be honest. That's the one thing. Communication and being honest, you know, because those are two separate things too. And being honest is probably harder to do without being mean. And a lot of people can't do it, so. In the end, I didn't do anything. I just, you know, he kind of stopped. I did see him a couple times before I left, but at one point, I finally left, and that was that. I realized after I left, I was like, oh, now he'll never find, if he finds me at my new job, which I don't have, but I don't even know where I'm gonna end up. But if he finds me there, like, bitch, it just makes me so sad, because it's not like I want to be mean to this. It's not like I purposefully, oh, I don't like you, I want to hurt you, I want you to not follow, you know, like, I don't know. People already feel that way when you are rejected. I don't know. I've talked for too long and this is gonna be edited down, so obviously I can't tell the other story. So if you want to hear the other story, comment down below. I would say that one was really scary, but it didn't last as long as this one did. I would say that one was even more scarier than this one. So maybe I'll do another video